Today's movie is a timeless tale. From the time when midgets ruled the West comes the tale of a man trying to start a range war so he can take all the land. That's right, it's the Terror of Tiny Town with an all-midget cast except for one guy at the beginning. And it starts with that one regular-sized man telling us about the movie and telling us not to take it too seriously. When our star, the hero, Billy Curtis, who plays Buck Larson, comes out and tells him it is a serious picture and that he is going to be the biggest star in Hollywood after it. Then the villain comes out. In the movie, his name is Bat Haynes, and he says he is the villain, the terror of Tiny Town. He is the star, and that he is going to be the biggest star in Hollywood. And they start fighting, and a grown man breaks them up easily, as a grown man probably would with two midgets fighting, unless, of course, they're throwing stuff at each other, like batteries, which I imagine would hurt like hell to get hit with. Only reason I'm thinking of that is because I bought some. And on with the show. The actual movie starts with everyone singing around the blacksmith, and the blacksmith doing work. Even some blacksmiths who seem like they can barely hold a sledgehammer, and the one big muscly blacksmith who seems to be doing a lot of work. And our hero, Buck Lawson, singing with them. And then Pop Lawson, Buck's dad, rides up. Yes, his actual name in the movie is Pop Lawson. He rides up and tells Buck if he's done singing, he should go check on the range because they're missing calves. So Buck goes, and we see rustlers led by Bat Haynes. And the rustlers aren't very good at their jobs, trying to catch the calves. And they got one, and they're about to brand it when Buck Lawson rides up. And Bat Haynes tells him to scram, but leave the branding iron, because he wants Buck to find it. Buck finds it and takes it to his dad, and he says it looks like a Preston branding iron. At which point we find out from Pop Lawson that 15 years ago, Buck had to be alive at this point. It looks like he's at least in his 20s. Pop Lawson and Tex Preston fought to a standstill over land. Now, I'm saying Buck Lawson had to be alive at this point. So did most of the ranch hands. So they had to remember this fight. But no one does. Except for the townspeople, apparently. So then, Bat Haynes, Bat Haynes, his name is Bat Haynes, not Van Haynes. It looks like Van Haynes a lot, but it's Bat Haynes. Goes to Tex Preston's house and tells Tex that Lawsons are shooting his calves. And one of Bat Haynes' gangs fires a shot, scaring Tex. So Tex tells Bat Haynes that 15 years ago he fought Pop Lawson to a standstill. Once again, he just refers to the guy as Pop Lawson. To a standstill over land. Now, there's a scene here with the chef chasing a duck that's actually kind of funny. Or kind of stupid, depending on the way you look at it. He could have all the chickens he wants, but he wants this damn duck. The chickens just come up right to him. And then we head into town, where Tex is fixing to pick up his niece, who's Nancy, who's coming into town on the stagecoach. And Bat is fixing to rob the stagecoach, and Pop Lawson comes into town to get a haircut or a shave or something. And Pop Lawson and Tex have a few words with each other at the barbershop, and there's a lot of singing in this movie. I mean, a lot of singing. There's like 2 songs in between this town part. But then, because Pop Lawson told Buck and his hands to go on their way and watch the cattle, as Bat's getting ready to rob the stagecoach, Buck rides up, and Bat killed the stagecoach driver and the guy driving shotgun, which apparently they don't have a shotgun in this movie, they just have pistols. So Buck stops the stagecoach, and him and Nancy fall in love instantly. So then we see Tex ordering to have more gunfighters hired for his ranch. And Nancy's going for a ride and having a big basket full of food made up. And she meets Buck with more songs in between. And they have a picnic, at which point Pop Lawson rides up and gets into it with Buck. But Buck rides off with Nancy. At which point Tex rides up, gets into it with Buck and Nancy. Buck tells Nancy to ride home, and he dares Tex to talk with him for 5 minutes. And him and Tex talk sense. And he tells Tex that both think they're killing each other's cattle, but neither one is. So if he talks to his dad, they'll put away the silly feud and go after whoever is. At which point Buck rides away and Tex rides away. But damn Bat Hane, he shoots Tex in the back, killing him. And then Bat Hane takes off towards the Preston Ranch. Buck doubles back and sees Preston dead and takes off towards the Preston Ranch. Bat Hane gets there first and tells him that Buck Lawson killed Tex Preston. Tex's men go out after Buck, and Bat Hane goes to comfort Nancy, who he wants to make his future wife. Buck gets in. Tex's men shoot at Buck, but Buck gets away. Buck later goes to Nancy when she's at home alone and explains what happened, making Nancy believe that Bat Haines killed Tex. But not before Bat Haines goes to the sheriff, who he has in his pocket, and convinces him to arrest Buck Lawson on sight. So Buck Lawson goes to the sheriff to confront Bat Haines, and the sheriff arrests him. Now, the sheriff arrests Buck Lawson, but that's not good enough for Bat Haines. He knows Nancy's on his side because Nancy visits him in jail, and no jury will convict Buck Lawson now. So Bat Haines arranges all the men in Tiny Town, and the town's name is actually Tiny Town. There's probably 1 million tiny towns all around the West. So don't get this confused with Tiny Town in Arizona or Tiny Town in Nevada or Tiny Town in Kansas City. This is Tiny Town, I think, in Texas. Hence the guy's name being Tex. Okay? He convinces all the men of the town to round up, and they're going to hang Buck Lawson. Nancy rides to the Lawson Ranch and gets the Lawson men together. And they make it back just in time to save Buck Lawson, but not in time for Bat Haines to kill the sheriff who tries to stop them. And Bat takes off. and then Buck takes off after him. Problem is, Bat slapped his showgirl in the face, who's probably also a hooker. If we know our Old West history, showgirls were also hookers. So she goes riding off to the cabin too. And she places a lit stick of dynamite in the cabin, which has a minute fuse. As we see in this showdown, it is the longest minute of your life. I'm pretty sure Dragon Ball Z took the fight on the planet Vegeta from this minute fuse. Because fight on the planet Vegeta was like an hour and a half after they said the planet Vegeta was going to blow up in 5 minutes. And this minute fuse is like 10 minutes. So Bat Haynes and Buck Lawson show down. And they duke it out in this thing. But Nancy gets there and calls Buck Lawson after Buck knocks down Bat Haynes. Buck comes running out to her, and Bat Haynes blows up. And that's the end of the movie. This is a pretty good movie. I mean, there's a lot of hate that goes around with it, but I think it's more because of the midget exploitation that had to do with the movie. The midgets not getting paid like regular actors. I mean, it's good for a 1938 Western. And a lot of the midgets from this movie went on to do The Wizard of Oz. And Billy Curtis, who's the star, went on to do a lot of movies. And the guy who played Bat Haynes did a lot of movies. But yeah, these midgets were kind of not paid a whole lot for the movie. But there was talk at the time, because the movie did well at the time, there was talk at the time of making sequels, but the sequels never happened. Making future all-midget movies, but the future all-midget movies never happened. But it's a good movie for, if you like old Westerns, it's a good movie. If you like watching movies with a bunch of midgets in, it's a good movie. If you want to watch a modern movie, it's not a good movie. But it is entertaining. And there are a bunch of songs in it that are old songs. Old Western songs. The next week, I'm going to do Poor Things, which is now streaming on Hulu. Well, it will be later tonight. Or early in the morning, it will be streaming on Hulu. So that's next week. Poor Things. Join me next week. Still don't get all the hate for Terror of Tiny Town.